Welcome to the Crime Vault, the channel dedicated to exploring the dark side of human nature. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into a chilling true crime story that gripped the UK in 2010. Get ready to uncover the unsettling case of Raoul Moat. Now let's delve into the case that sent shockwaves through Britain, leaving a trail of fear and unanswered questions in its wake. July 2010, the northeast of England. A manhunt of unprecedented scale unfolds. At its center, Raoul Moat, a former nightclub bouncer with a thirst for revenge. Fresh out of prison, Moat embarks on a terrifying spree, targeting his ex-girlfriend and anyone he believes wronged him. A community is paralyzed with fear. The police face immense pressure to stop him, but Moat is armed, dangerous, and determined to make his own rules. This is a story of love, betrayal, and the desperate actions of a man pushed to the edge. Stay with us as we retrace Moat's steps, piecing together the events that led to this dramatic standoff with authorities. We'll examine the crimes that shocked the nation and delve into the manhunt that captivated millions. Raoul Moat was born in 1973 in Newcastle upon Tyne, a city in northeast England. His early life was marked by instability and hardship. Abandoned by his father at a young age, Moat was primarily raised by his grandmother in a tough neighborhood. Even as a child, Moat displayed behavioral problems. He was prone to outbursts of anger and struggled to fit in. As Moat grew older, his problems escalated. He developed a fascination with weapons and a distorted sense of justice. He found work as a tree surgeon and later as a nightclub bouncer, roles that allowed him to project an image of strength and control. However, beneath the surface, Moat remained deeply troubled. His personal relationships were tumultuous, often marred by jealousy and possessiveness. He was known to be controlling and abusive towards his partners, a pattern that would have devastating consequences in his adult life. In 2005, Moat's life took a darker turn when he was convicted of assault and sentenced to 18 months in prison. This experience seemed to solidify his anger and resentment towards authority. Upon his release in 2007, he appeared increasingly isolated and volatile, struggling to reintegrate into society. Moat found solace in bodybuilding and martial arts, further fueling his obsession with physical power and control. He continued to work as a bouncer, using his imposing physique to intimidate others. Moat had several children from different relationships, but struggled to maintain stable connections. His obsession with his ex-girlfriend, Samantha Stobbart, combined with his deep-seated anger and paranoia, would ultimately set the stage for the tragic events that were to unfold. By the summer of 2010, Raoul Moat's obsession with Samantha Stobbart had reached a fever pitch. Recently released from prison, Moat bombarded Stobbart with calls and messages, convinced she had begun a relationship with a police officer. This belief, whether true or a figment of his paranoia, fueled his rage. Moat's possessiveness and jealousy intensified, pushing him further down a dangerous path. Unbeknownst to Moat, Stobbart had indeed begun seeing someone new, but it wasn't a police officer. It was Chris Brown, a 29-year-old karate instructor. On July 3rd, 2010, Just 2 days after his release from prison, Moat put his twisted plan into action. Armed with a shotgun, he made his way to the home of Samantha Stobbart in Bertley Gateshead, intent on revenge. The stage was set for a horrific act of violence. Under the cover of darkness, Raoul Moat arrived at Samantha Stobbart's home. Inside, Stobbart and Chris Brown were unaware of the danger lurking outside. Moat, consumed by rage, peered through the window, his eyes fixated on the couple inside. In a fit of jealous fury, Moat raised his shotgun and fired through the window, striking Chris Brown in the chest. Stobbart, screaming in terror, watched in horror as Brown collapsed to the floor. Moat then turned his attention to Stobbart, shooting her through the window as she desperately tried to shield herself. News of the shooting spread like wildfire, plunging Newcastle upon Tyne into a state of shock and fear. Raoul Moat, now a double shooter, was on the loose, and the city was put on high alert. Police launched a massive manhunt, deploying hundreds of officers, helicopters, and armed response units to track down the fugitive. Schools were placed on lockdown, and residents were warned to stay vigilant and report any sightings. Moat, however, had vanished into the night, seemingly swallowed whole by the sprawling urban landscape. The city held its breath, gripped by fear and uncertainty, as the shadow of Raoul Moat loomed large. Two days after the initial shootings, Raoul Moat resurfaced in a chilling act of calculated violence. He targeted PC David Rathband, a police officer who was sitting unarmed in his patrol car. Moat approached the patrol car and fired a single shot through the windscreen, striking PC Rathband in the face. The attack left Rathband permanently blinded and fighting for his life. This brazen assault on a law enforcement officer sent shockwaves through the nation, solidifying Moat's image as a dangerous and ruthless criminal. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown, a final confrontation between the fugitive and the forces pursuing him. As the manhunt for Raoul Moat intensified, the nation watched with bated breath. Every news bulletin brought fresh updates and a palpable sense of unease. Moat had become the most wanted man in Britain, his face a constant fixture on screens. The police, under immense pressure, employed every resource at their disposal. Helicopters with thermal imaging scoured the countryside, while armed police conducted door-to-door searches. Despite the massive operation, Moat proved elusive. As the days turned into a week, a crucial breakthrough emerged. Acting on a tip-off, police discovered an abandoned campsite in a remote area near the village of Rothbury, Northumberland. Amongst the scattered belongings and makeshift shelter, investigators found crucial evidence: food, wrappers, empty ammunition boxes, and most importantly, a handwritten letter addressed to Samantha Stobbart. In the letter, Moat expressed his distorted love for Stobbart, his hatred for the police, and his chilling intention to continue his rampage. The discovery of the campsite sent a surge of activity through the manhunt. Police descended upon the area, cordoning off a vast swathe of woodland and deploying sniffer dogs and specialist search teams. The net was tightening, and the sense of an impending climax was palpable with the discovery of Moat's campsite. The manhunt entered its final dramatic act. Armed police maintained a tight cordon, determined to prevent Moat from escaping. Local residents reported seeing a figure matching Moat's description hiding in a storm drain. Heavily armed officers swiftly surrounded the area. Floodlights illuminated the riverbank, casting eerie shadows through the trees. The stage was set for a tense standoff, a final confrontation. The night of July 9th, 2010. A tense silence descended upon Rothbury as armed police surrounded Raoul Moat, cornered near the River Coquet. Floodlights pierced the darkness, illuminating Moat's silhouette as he brandished a shotgun, his face etched with desperation. Negotiators, using loudspeakers, attempted to reason with Moat, urging him to surrender peacefully. They appealed to his sense of humanity, emphasizing the futility of his actions and the pain he had inflicted. But Moat, consumed by paranoia and fueled by days on the run, remained defiant. Despite the pleas of negotiators and the presence of former footballer Paul Gascoigne, who arrived at the scene in a bizarre attempt to reason with Moat, the fugitive refused to back down. He remained holed up by the riverbank, his shotgun a constant threat, the tension ratcheting up with each passing moment. As dawn broke on July 10th, the standoff entered its 7th hour. Exhaustion and despair hung heavy in the air. Moat, soaked from a night exposed to the elements, appeared increasingly agitated and unpredictable. Negotiations continued, but Moat's responses became increasingly incoherent. His words laced with paranoia and despair. Then, in a split second, the standoff reached its tragic climax. A single gunshot echoed through the morning air. Moat, his body riddled with despair and facing a future behind bars, had turned the gun on himself. The dramatic conclusion to the Raoul Moat manhunt left a nation reeling. The shockwaves from Moat's rampage and subsequent suicide reverberated throughout British society, sparking intense debate and soul-searching. The case, with its potent mix of violence, mental instability, and media frenzy, forced a national conversation on a number of uncomfortable issues. One of the most pressing questions was how to address the issue of gun control in the UK. Moat, despite having a criminal record and a history of violence, had managed to obtain a shotgun illegally. This raised concerns about the accessibility of firearms and the effectiveness of existing gun laws. The debate intensified, with some calling for stricter regulations and others arguing that the focus should be on mental health support and early intervention. The role of the media in the Moat case also came under intense scrutiny. In the aftermath of the Raoul Moat case, the UK grappled with its legacy. The scars of Moat's crimes ran deep, particularly in the northeast of England. The families of the victims sought justice and a sense of closure. The case led to changes in police procedures and training. The tragic shooting of PC David Rathband highlighted the dangers faced by law enforcement. The Moat case left a lasting impact on the national psyche. The Raoul Moat case remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. Moat's rampage, fueled by jealousy and paranoia, left an indelible mark on the UK, raising questions about gun control and mental health. The emotional scars remain etched in the memories of victims, families, and a nation grappling with the aftermath. The case stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of addressing the root causes of violence. Thank you for joining us in the Crime Vault as we explore this haunting case. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more chilling stories. Until next time, stay safe and be good to one another.